Hi, Crickellectuals. Welcome back to another episode. And if you're new here, we're a Pakistan cricket podcast where we talk about everything related to the world of Pakistan cricket. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the new Pakistan Cricket Foundation that the PCB chairman Ramizraja talked about at his last major press conference. And it is no secret that we like Ramizraja as the Pakistan Cricket Board chairman, but we try to keep a critical eye on Pakistan cricket in general, including his performance. So in some of the previous episodes, we have shared some of our concerns about Ramizraja's performances. Really not much, but in particular, stuff related to the pitches. When the Australian team visited Pakistan, we weren't satisfied with that. We thought, given that Ramizraja was a pitch man, he should have done a lot better. But we've also talked about some of the great things that Ramizraja has done. For example, the Best 100 we felt was a great program. And today, in this short little episode, we're going to talk about the Pakistan Cricket Foundation. I don't know if this is the exact name or title they're going to give to this department within the PCB, but essentially Ramizraja described it as a welfare fund within the cricket board. And he shared that the aim of this unit would be to support ex-cricketers, especially those in need. That need we can broadly define, but it sounds like anyone who is having financial troubles and others who may need health-related support. And case in point, as soon as this was talked about, we came across the case of Zulqarnain Haider, the former Pakistani batsman. He's had a very interesting record. He replaced Kamran Akmal in 2010 in England. He broke his finger. He didn't really play much. He played one game. Then in late 2010, he abandoned the South Africa tour because he had some situation with some match fixers. Allegedly, they approached him and he felt unsafe and he sought asylum in the UK. He felt his life was in danger. But long story short, his stint with the PCB, with the Pakistan cricket team, was rather short-lived. But recently we heard that he was having serious health issues and he was hospitalized. And if you see some of his pictures, some of his recent interviews, you can clearly see he's not in good shape. So we pray for him. May he get well and feel better really soon. We pray for him and his family. May he get out of this difficult time. But the point of this little episode is how effective and important is this idea of a welfare focus for the Pakistan Cricket Board, because there are plenty of players who need the extra help, and the Zulqarnain Haider situation that just happened is just one example of many players who are in need of financial support or just any kind of health-related support. And in this case, the PCB was able to, at least the news story was that the PCB was going to take on any of the medical expenses that Zulqarnain was incurring. They were going to support him and his family with those, and they were going to basically take care of the hospital bill, which was really nice. And it goes to show that Ramizraja really is thinking not only about the cricket that is happening right now and over the next few years, but he's also thinking about taking care of Pakistani players, both current and former, with anything that they need help and support with, which is really nice because at the end of the day, they play for the country. They should be respected, which, a lot of the players do obviously receive the respect of the audience, but just respect alone doesn't necessarily pay the bills, as we can say. And just the honor of playing for the country alone, although the players would probably always say that that's sufficient, that's all they care about, it's an honorable thing to play and represent your country, but at the end of the day, there are bills to be paid. People have to survive and sustain themselves, and it's really nice to see that Ramizraja has taken action, a tangible action on supporting players who are no longer as a part of the roster or are on the PCB payroll anymore. There are still over 200 players that are current players that are on the PCB payroll in one way or other. So that's nice to see that there's lots of people that are getting paid for their work, even if they're not directly involved with the national team. But this particular work for the Cricket Foundation is really remarkable, and just wanted to make sure we highlight the good as well, and take this episode to acknowledge some of the great work that ramizraja is doing, and just in general the Pakistan Cricket Board is doing. So kudos to the PCB and the chairman for this initiative, and we hope this will actually lead to providing much needed safety and security to some of the ex-players. Now, one thing that wasn't clear is how these players will be chosen who need the help. So, Zulqarnain Haider became kind of like a news in the press, so he got some attention, and the PCB responded and supported him. So that was nice to see. But what about the players who are not as popular or have a name that is known or are being talked about in the media? What about them? So obviously some kind of outreach is needed. So I'm hoping that part of the Cricket Foundation work includes actually seeking out and investigating and reaching out to ex-players to just touch base with them to see how everybody's doing. So it does look like a full-fledged job, a full-fledged department that the PCB is going to have to sustain. Obviously, that has its own costs, but it is great to see. It is much needed, and we hope that we'll hear more about some of this work and how players are being chosen or how players are being identified who need the help. And in addition to that, not just giving players some short-term help or like immediate help, but also thinking about ways in which we can get these players involved. And if there's some services that they can offer to the current generation of players, it would be really nice to see them get involved and actually make a living in the right way, and to be able to support themselves. So all of those things were things that ramizraja mentioned. They seem to have been part of his plans. We just want to see how it all plays out, and it would be really nice to see this displayed somewhere prominently on the Pakistan Cricket Board website, and it would be nice to see a feature or functionality on the website where if you are a player who's played for Pakistan, who's been involved with Pakistan Cricket Board, that you can go there and submit a request for assistance. So that part of this is unclear to me, but my recommendation is that to create a transparent and clear method and protocol of how to actually seek out this help. We do need to market it and bring it out to the attention of all those players who may need help but don't have the means to reach out to the PCB for whatever reason. So there's got to be an online system where somebody can request this assistance, or at least a call with some representatives from the PCB who can then, come in and talk to the person and evaluate their needs. I think that's what it would take for it to become more equitable and for it to have the maximum impact that this program should have. So once again, great job to PCB, and we look forward to such great things coming from Pakistan Cricket and the Pakistan Cricket Board. And that's all for today's episode. Let us know what you think about this, and if you have comments or feedback, please go to our Facebook or YouTube page to share your thoughts. And until next time, it's your host Jay signing out. Peace.